Alright, welcome back to another video in this series, or whatever the hell you want to call it. We're going to be going over the last four infantry classes here, being Rifleman, Assault, Automatic Rifleman, and Machine Gunner. Starting off with Rifleman, you'll first notice that the Americans are the only ones that get 2 loadouts, while every other faction gets 3. Don't really know the reason for that. Whatever. The biggest difference being that everyone else gets explosive ammo, while the Americans don't. So Riflemen, for every other faction except the US, can carry explosive ammo. Otherwise, you're usually going to start out with a couple grenades and a rifle. Second class, second loadout is always going to give you some more grenades, and you're going to get smoke grenades now as well. And then the third one, as you can see down there, you're going to have explosive ammo. I don't have it unlocked, unfortunately, but there is explosive ammo there. Now when it comes to dropping ammo, we'll kind of go over that, but basically the bullets, the regular ammo, you can drop it wherever the hell you want. It's fine. I'd recommend giving it to some machine gunners or dropping it in the point, while the explosive ammo, I'd highly recommend you follow around an AT guy with that. Just so this way, at least when he gets rockets, or when he's out of rockets, you can drop him some ammo, and if he's trying to blow up a tank or something, you're going to give him a real big hand with that, especially when it comes to a heavy tank, which needs 3 rockets to kill. The Russians do get explosive ammo on their second loadout, unlike the other classes who only get it on their third. And that's really about the biggest difference. We'll go in game and get a little action in with this. Welcome to the Rifleman class, and hello, Loose. You are the most basic of the bitches. You don't have any job except for killing people and doing whatever the fuck your squad leader says. Don't just go running around on your own doing whatever the hell you want. You do have a purpose, and that is your body, and we gotta get bodies on point to win the game, so that is how you win the game. Put your body on the point, listen to your squad leader. Now every faction starts off with bolt-action rifles, except the Americans. They do get a semi-automatic, the M1 Grand, which is a fucking wonderful gun. All these guns, though, regardless, will usually kill a guy within about 150 meters. That's usually my general rule of thumb. A one-hit kill will be within 150 meters. Sometimes you could hit him in the foot or the hand, and it's not going to kill him, but for the most part, just aim fucking center mass every time you see a guy, you'll more than likely kill him. Otherwise, all these rifles are a little bit different, so if you want to go with the Rifleman's Creed here, this is my rifle. There are many like it. This one is mine. Rifle is my best friend. It is my life. I must master my rifles. I must master my life. Basically, to sum that whole fucking thing up, learn it, know it, love it. Put that shit up on your fucking bathroom wall over your toilet or something. Who cares? But, yeah, all these rifles are going to be slightly different in their sweet spots, their handling. You'll kind of learn all their quirks as you play the game more. And from there, hopefully we can turn you into a fucking killing machine. One little thing if you want to immerse yourself more, if you go to options, gameplay, manual bullet cycling, you can turn that on and off. All that means is every time you shoot, you're going to have to click again to manually get a round in the chamber. I don't really know if there's a point to it as regular infantry. As a sniper, I could see a point. Maybe you don't want to cycle that bolt right away, so you can watch where your round lands and try to adjust your fire. Otherwise, again, as a regular fucking infantryman, there's really no point to it. It's probably just going to be more fucking annoying than anything else. Now, as another little rule of thumb, I like to go with the 150 meters here again, but anything over 150 meters, your external ballistics is going to start coming into effect, which means bullet drop is going to be a thing, so it's going to be helpful to aim a little bit above whatever you're shooting at to get a proper hit on them. Again, that 150 is just my thing. I don't know what it actually is, but I guess we could try to do some testing or some shit later on at some point. Alright, so right there, like I was at 150 meters, I still managed to hit him, so we know the bullet doesn't start dropping till a little bit past that. Yeah, still getting some kills with this, it's not too bad. But like you can see, the 150 meters, these guys are going down instantly, so I like to keep that 150 as a rule. Anything over that, might have to change it up a bit. One little trick I've picked up over time here is if you're aiming at guys way the fuck out in the distance, sometimes it's better off to lean. This rifle, your sights aren't really obstructed too much, but that guy we're watching right there, let's go with that guy, he's easier. If you lean to the left, you can see now he can kind of run into your sights better. Oh, I actually got a hit on him too. And it just, it'll help you out with your long-range shots a bit. Now you do get ammo too. Your first loadout you get a bunch of bullets, second loadout, or third, I don't remember which one it is, you get explosive ammo, which, you know, I generally like to wait till I'm near a guy that needs it, like a machine gunner or something, but even if they don't need it, I'll drop it near a machine gunner. Otherwise, if I find explosive ammo, I'll drop a regular ammo box right next to it. This way on the map you can see that there's a whole bunch of ammo right there. And don't forget you got grenades, fucking use them. Toss those things out there. Look at that, took out an OP just by throwing a fucking grenade. And that's why that's another good use with those grenades is OPs. If you see one that you can't get to, just toss a fucking grenade at it. Alright, so we finished off the Rifleman class here. Now the key takeaways here is fucking follow orders first. Throw grenades, shoot stuff, drop ammo every once in a while. Simple as that. Don't forget, US does not get explosive ammo. For explosive ammo for the US, you're going to have to go down to support, and hopefully you can get that dude out there to do some work with your ATs, but if you're American and you plan on helping out an AT player, Rifleman's not going to do it. Now, moving on to our next class, Assault. You're basically still a Rifleman, but now you get your automatic weapons unlocked, so you're going to start off with 2 grenades, 2 smoke grenades, hammer, bandage, knife, whatever. The only difference between the first and second loadouts, this is for every faction by the way, is the primary weapon, so you just get a different gun, that's it. Otherwise, you're still going to have 2 and 2 for your grenades. The biggest difference starts coming up at the third loadout, where, for the Americans at least, it's called a Grenadier class, and now you're going to have 6 frag grenades, 4 smoke grenades. So, if you die with all these grenades on you, you're probably not doing it right. If it's because, oh, they're too long range, I can't do it, so that's what you got smoke grenades for. Use those smoke grenades to close into the enemy, get closer to them, and then just start fucking tossing those grenades out, man. You got 6 grenades. You toss those in a nice, easy semicircle pattern around something, you're probably going to get a kill. Maybe you'll take out an OP, who knows. The fourth loadout, I do not have Assault level 9 unlocked, but the fourth loadout, for the Americans at least, is Raider, and you get a satchel charge. That's the biggest difference. I don't know how many grenades you get. I assume less because you got a satchel charge on you now, so if I had to guess, 2 and 2. Otherwise, you get the satchel. We've gone over that in the past, I think enough. If you want to know more about it, I don't know, I'll try to figure it out, but I feel like I explained it decently well before. But every faction, their fourth loadout gets that satchel charge. Every faction, their third loadout gets all them grenades. It's worth noting, too, for some reason, the Germans and Russians only get 3 smoke grenades, as opposed to 4, while the Americans and British get 4. I don't really know what the reasoning behind that is. Maybe just a little error, who knows, but fourth you get a satchel charge. Otherwise, the first 2 loadouts are pretty much the same. I guess we don't really need to get too much in game with this, but we'll go over some grenade shit, I guess. Alright, so like I was saying before, grenades are going to be your main weapon as the Assault class. You want to throw as many of these out as you can. You'll see here, just pop 2 off. We're going to run through this giant open field now, and I only had 2 on me, so it's not the best cover, but it's still going to give us just enough cover to get all the way up to the enemy's position here. They're not even going to see us. I mean, they're probably going to know we're here. More than likely, machine gun's going to be fucking lighting you up while you're doing this. Then we're just going to go ahead and waste off all the grenades. You can see we're even starting to capture it now. I know it's not solely because of me, but, you know, whatever. Clearly I died, but hey, we got some grenades off with the enemy's position. That's really what matters. So now we'll try it again with 4 smoke grenades here. Get all of these out into the field, and we'll push up there again. But before we do that, we'll go back to the practice range real quick and check something. So thankfully we got this practice range. We could do whatever the hell we want here. Now, I was testing out the grenades because I honestly did not know if this made a difference too, but it seems if you run and throw a grenade, you will actually throw it a little bit further, almost 12 meters further, as opposed to the 38 meters you'll throw when you're standing still. So, for example, we'll sit right here, pull this pin out, we'll keep our compass bearing about right on those guys, give it a throw. Right about there we'll mark. So we'll go ahead and we'll mark that off, put an observe mark there. 36 meters. Alright, so now turn that off. And now if we run, we'll put the compass bearing right on those guys again. If you run and throw the grenade, hopefully, see it actually just about hit 50 meters. So from there to there is a pretty decent difference. I mean, that's, 14 meters of difference in throwing right there. So keep that in mind, that whenever you're throwing a grenade, if you want it to go a little bit further, you can run and throw it. Now while we're here, let's see what happens when we're crouched and throw it. Once again, we'll try to get our compass bearing on those guys. Alright, so that was about the same spot. So, crouch, standing, doesn't really make a difference. The big difference here is movement. If you're moving while throwing your grenade, I don't know, I guess that whole fucking law of physics shit, object in motion stays in motion. Maybe that's true in this game. Let's just go with it. If you need a little bit more range, just get a little running start before you throw that thing. Alright, so now again we're running through this open field, got these smokes out, probably could have thrown them a little closer to each other, but it still gives us enough cover to get up here and start tossing our grenades, which I changed the loadouts to the third, so I got 6 grenades now. Let's see, I'm just going to pop every single one of these things off, hopefully we'll get some kills, maybe we'll take down an outpost, who the hell knows. But we'll get them all out, and then we'll start pushing in there. There we go. 1 outpost down, that's good, it's going to stop them from reinforcing the point. If they don't have a garrison, that's even better. And you can see we got some guys in here, we're now taking over this trench. So this trench is ours. If we didn't have those smokes, we'd be running through that open field, fucking machine gun bait. Alright, so that about does it for the assault class. You see it's not really that much different than Rifleman except for the fully automatic weapons you can get now, but again, your main thing is throwing grenades. I'd highly recommend using them. You saw how effective they could be. Even if you don't get kills and you're just taking down outposts, that's great. The enemy will hear a grenade landing near them, and they'll probably run away from that because, nobody wants to get blown up. So keep that in mind. They're great for demoralizing the shit out of someone, too. If you're dropping 6 grenades in the same trench, they're going to be getting pretty scared and pissed off about that. But anyway, moving on. Automatic Rifleman's your next class. Pretty good. I wouldn't say it's the best. I honestly rarely choose it, but I do love the BAR. It's a great rifle. Technically, it's the same round as an M1 Grand, but in the game, it's totally different, so don't be expecting to pop guys off at long range like it's the M1 Grand. You can definitely hit guys at range, but you're not going to be killing them like you would with the Grand. Your main goal in this is a mobile suppression. It even says it right here in the thing. Automatic Rifleman provides increased base of fire and suppression while still being mobile, blah, blah, blah. So what they mean by suppression is you're just going to be shooting at the enemy. You don't really want to be holding down the trigger. I'm just going to say that for now, but you're just going to want to point that weapon at the enemy, hold down the trigger, and keep their heads down. The longer you keep their heads down, the more time your squad has to move around. I wouldn't say freely, but at least a little more safely, maybe. Like, 10% more safe we'll go with, I guess. I don't know where I just got that number from. Pulled it out of my ass. Don't worry about it. The other loadouts for these aren't that great. Veteran, you just got a Thompson with a couple smoke grenades. You don't even have, 30 mags for the Thompson. You just got 6. The Germans do get that sweet, sweet FG-42, which I still have never used, but their STG-44, or MP-44, whatever you want to call it, is incredible. That's probably the best gun in the game. It's the first assault rifle, technically, so that thing, you're going to be able to take people out at range. It's steady as hell. Recoil is not that bad on it. You got 30 rounds in your mag, and it's just an overall beautiful gun, powerful. Probably one of my other favorite guns in the game, I guess. Soviet Union, you just get a PPSH with a drum mag, and then you get some Molotov cocktails while still holding your PPSH. And the British don't get shit. You get a Bren gun, which I don't like. I'm terrible with it. Maybe I don't like it because I'm terrible with it. I've seen some people that are pretty good with it. I'm sure it's a good gun, but I just don't really prefer it. We'll get in game and just, try to show you some examples of mobile suppression, covering fire, and just trying to help your guys move up. So to go over suppression real quick, we'll just look up the Wikipedia definition here, which is fire that degrades the performance of an enemy. That's basically all you gotta know. When they're moving, it's called covering fire. It doesn't really matter. No one's gonna fucking yell at you if you get that wrong. It's also very important to know that not just a machine gun can suppress. You'll see here just one bullet alone suppresses me, and you can see how long that effect lasts. For that real close round, I got a solid 10-15 seconds of blurry vision, screen being all weird and whatnot. We'll go over a few more examples of suppression just so you have a pretty good idea of how it works if you haven't really played the game too much. But you'll see here, running through this open field, the machine gun's going to start opening up on us, and you'll see some of these guys all start to get down because they might be being suppressed, and you can kind of get a good idea of how well a machine gun can drop an entire squad, or not kill, but at least get them to fucking get their heads down and hold them up a little bit. Now, any gun, like I said, can suppress. You'll see we're being shot at by a semi-automatic rifle here, and it's getting pretty close. Then an MP40 follows, and then a machine gun right after that. So, pretty good example there. But you do have to be fairly close to shooting these guys for this effect to actually be increased, I guess. And you'll have a lot better effect if you're closer to them. So, don't try to shoot just 5 feet away from a guy and hope it's going to do anything, because it'll barely make a screen shake. If you're within inches of them, it's going to do way more than just make their screen shake, and that's what you're looking for. This Tiger gives us a pretty good idea of what this effect can do. You'll see my screen starts getting really blurry and whatnot. It's going to be pretty hard to shoot back after that, and you're not going to want to stick your head up because you're going to want that suppression effect to end as fast as it can so you can get back in the fight. So the BAR in this game, it's definitely fun, but they definitely need a bipod on this thing. The recoil on it's pretty intense, but a lot of times you're probably going to find yourself running around like this, just kind of shooting guys randomly. Again, try to go single fire, maybe 2-round bursts, because you start going full auto on these guys, your gun just could be flying everywhere. The German's STG-44 is way easier to control the recoil, especially full auto. You could probably still get a pretty solid group even at 100 meters if you had to. Russians and British, I'm not good with their guns, so I don't really know what to tell you there. Probably the best bet is to use them like you use the BAR. Just go with those single shots, maybe 2-round bursts. If you're in close quarters, like inside of a house, and yeah, fucking light them up. The best use for these, this situation here, we're attacking that little low wall there where Germans have been taking pot shots at the church, so I'm just going to lay down some hate with this thing. Unfortunately, it reloads slow as hell, but that's going to keep the enemy suppressed. Their heads are going to be down. They're not going to want to poke their heads up because they know they're getting shot at. They know their location's been fucking spotted. And my guys are going to get in there and kill them.
With the grenades,
and obviously, if those Germans don't want to poke their heads up, they can't really get any shots off at our guys, so you can see it was a lot safer for them to cross that open field there and kind of get right up on them and eventually blow them all up. And as always, too, do not forget, you have grenades. Throw your fucking grenades. Use those. Don't try to save them. Just fucking toss them out. You're gonna die enough that he'll probably throw 30 fucking grenades at you.
Oh, ROPs. Fuck.
I think we'll get a little STG action in here too, and as you can see with this first kill, there's barely any fucking recoil. It's super easy to learn to control it. You also got a bigger magazine than the BAR. You got 30 rounds instead of 20. Like I said before, this is basically a modern day fucking AK-47, so you could probably go in the front lines with this thing and, I mean, you know, be in front of your squad, but personally, if I have an automatic rifleman, I like keeping them a little bit in the back. This way, if the squad does come under fire, they can start laying down some suppressive fire, and our guys can displace, get into cover, try to return fire from there, or even just completely fall back if they have to. That's why it's also good to shoot in bursts. You want to keep that suppression up as long as you can. If you just, let's say you're using the BAR and you drop all 20 rounds right away, now you got to reload. You're giving the enemy a solid 5 seconds to get back up and return fire, as opposed to taking 2-round bursts here, 2-round bursts there. Now, yeah, they still have that 5 seconds, but your suppression is going to last a lot longer than if you just drop that whole fucking magazine at once. So keep that shit in mind too. Again, biggest thing here is ask your squad leader what he wants you to do. Or if you see an opportunity arise, just straight up tell him, hey, I'm going to hang back here. I'll suppress that position while you guys move forward. Simple as that. Everyone will love you. And just, you know, have fun. Alright, now the moment I know a lot of you have been waiting for is the machine gunner class. There's going to be a lot of shit with this one. A lot of stupid shit that's probably not important at all. I mean, again, it's the game. Play it however the fuck you want. I don't care. Regardless of that, the only thing really worth noting is that the Russians only get 1 loadout while everyone else gets 2. Great Britain and America, They got their automatic rifleman rifle as a second class with a shit ton of extra magazines. We got 14 mags with the Bren gun here, or you could stick with your Lewis gun with 10 mags. And the Germans, of course, get that beautiful, beautiful MG42. So level 3 to unlock that, to unlock any second loadout. And MG42 is definitely worth it. That thing's insane. Now, your main job as a machine gunner is suppression. I'm not going to go over that again. If you want to know about it, just go back in the chapters and look at the suppression part in the automatic rifleman. Anyway, moving on. What we are going to go over is rates of fire. So, straight out of the Marine Corps Machine Gunner's Handbook here is 2 rates of fire. There's actually a third. The first one being the sustained rate of fire, which is 3 to 5 round bursts every 4 or 5 seconds. The next one being rapid rate of fire, which is 6 to 8 round bursts every 2 to 3 seconds. And the third one being cyclic rate of fire, which is you're just holding down the fucking trigger, getting your max fire rate out of that thing, and letting hell loose. Now, yes, I know it's a game, and you don't have to follow these rules at all. No one's going to fucking, NJP you or something for it. But if you do want to try to stay on target, you also don't need to be shooting exactly 3 to 5 round bursts and waiting exactly 2 to 3 seconds between it. As long as you're getting close to that, there is a reason for it. So if you're shooting like this, the first thing that you're going to be doing is actually increasing the duration of your suppression. For example, we got Germans up in that house. They're in those windows and they're shooting at our guys that are trying to move through this open field here. If you're just doing this every couple seconds, they're going to be staying away from those windows a lot more. And like we discussed in the suppression before, the closer they get to these bullets flying through the windows, which they're going to have to look through the windows to shoot at you, the more the suppression effect is going to take effect. That was kind of weird to say. Effect and affect, interesting. Anyway, so again, you want to just kind of give them a few rounds here and there, keep their heads inside, don't let them poke their heads out. And the longer you do this for, the longer your team has, or your squad has, to actually move up and attack that house without fear of getting shot. I mean, it's hella loose. There's probably going to be a sniper behind that fucking tree right there that you don't even see killing your entire squad, but regardless of that, the increased duration of suppression effect is a great reason to do this. If you just drop this entire belt of 150 rounds, it's only going to be about 20 seconds. And even right here, just doing this alone, you can see it's been way more than 20 seconds, and we're keeping those guys' heads inside, not shooting at our guys for a lot longer than just 20 seconds, just by doing this. If you really want to, again, it's a game, man, just hold the fucking trigger down, go at it, go fucking crazy, who the hell cares? Otherwise, yeah, try to follow those rates of fire, and you'll be able to give your guys a lot more cover for a lot longer, a lot more suppression for a lot longer, whatever. Now that brings me to another reason for your lower rates of fire here is that you're going to be saving a lot more ammo. Like I said before, 150 rounds in 20 seconds. You got 6 belts of ammo. You're going to be running through that in a minute and a half. I mean, maybe, a minute and 45 seconds with reload times, but you can blow through that ammo real fast, and then you're going to have to run around and go find an ammo box and hope one of your guys is actually paying attention, which most of the time they're not, unfortunately. But to be honest, I can count the amount of times on one hand that I've actually ran out of ammo in this game completely and had to find ammo. So you're more than likely going to die before you run out of ammo. And that'll actually bring me to the next point here, which is when you're shooting at the cyclic rate of fire, where you're just holding down the trigger, you can see just about every third round is a tracer, and all you're doing now is pretty much creating a line going straight back to you. So anyone that's not in this line of fire is going to see these tracers and be able to track them straight back to your location. Now, if you're shooting slower, you may be only getting 1 or 2 tracers out every 5 seconds or so. And it's going to be a lot harder for them to trace that line back, because they're only going to see that one tracer and not be able to pinpoint your location as easy. Another reason that really doesn't apply to this game, it would be kind of cool if it did, but anytime you shoot one bullet through any sort of gun, that barrel is going to be hot as hell. So if you're putting 150 rounds through that thing in 20 seconds, that barrel can actually start glowing red hot and fucking melt. You can find plenty of videos of that on YouTube, and it's going to warp the shit out of the barrel. That barrel is going to, your accuracy is going to go completely off the fucking charts bad. The barrel could even melt over onto itself, and now you're going to have rounds just exploding inside the barrel, which is eventually going to fuck the whole gun up and possibly even hurt you and a friend. Now, there was actually some pretty efficient ways to change out barrels in World War II, but unfortunately, they do not have that in this game. Alright, now let's just say there's a whole bunch of guys out by those tanks over there, and that's what we're trying to suppress, and you find this house, and you think, wow, that's a great spot. I'm just going to sit up here and shoot the shit out of this machine gun. It would be a very good idea to find secondary and even tertiary positions after that to light them up from, because if you just sit in this one spot the entire time, they're eventually going to know. Even if you kill that one guy, he's going to spawn back in about 40 seconds, and if you're still in that same spot, he already knows where you're there because he died from you last time. He's going to start lighting up this window. He'll be suppressing you, or he might even kill you. So, yeah, this might be a great spot, but I'd highly recommend every 20 or so seconds maybe try to move to a different spot. You know, we can go to this window here. Oop, jumped out the building. Whatever, still a new spot. Light them up from there. Or even go down on the stairs, maybe right here. Still got a pretty good shot at these guys, and you can still light them up from the bottom of these stairs too. And it's just good to move around this way. Those guys that you kill, again, they respawn. They're not dead. They're going to know exactly where you're at, and they can come back and kill you very fucking easily. So now to actually set the machine gun up, I'm sure you see that on the bottom where it says deploy weapon. It's pretty simple. All you do is press that button, and you're going to be resting your gun on its bipod on whatever surface you're on. That could be brick walls, these hay bales, pieces of wood, logs, barrels, tanks, the fucking tractor over there. Even some little berms like that you can set this thing up on. To get out of it, you don't actually have to press F. You can just move. Just as long as you move any which way, it'll take the gun off what you're resting it on, and you can move. So it's good if you're coming under fire, a tank suddenly pops up out of nowhere, you can move real quick and get out of the way. You don't have to think, oh shit, what button was it to set this thing up? Now, after you set it up, I should say, it's very important to figure out what your lateral limits are. And by lateral limits, I just mean how far left and right you could shoot. By default, any open space, you could set this gun up and you'll have 90-degree field of view. And then my lateral limits right now, this is nice and easy, is going to be the bales of hay here. So I can't shoot any further left of that, can't shoot any further right of that. This is actually a perfect spot because everything throughout these, or past these bales of hay, I know I can hit. And in real life, you actually might have a certain... I'm not even going to go over that. Fuck that. Ignore that. Regardless of that, lateral limits, know where they are. It's always good to try to get it as best set up as you can. So, for example, if we set up here, now we can't go any further than that. In this entire section of the hay bale from here to here is just wasted space. That's not going to fucking matter. Well, we have 90-degree field of view we could turn this thing on. So, best to try to get yourself set up as best you can within whatever lateral limits you want to pick. This is decent. I mean, we're not going to be able to shoot through the hay bale anyway, and we only have a little bit of wasted space on this side. It's not too bad. But again, from here, we can hit anything that shows up in our field of view through the hay bales. It's also pretty important. So I'm going to find a good spot here. So now it's also super important to know with your lateral limits that you want to kind of have those towards the danger area, because you're not always going to get a nice spot like those hay bales over there where your left and right are covered. Sometimes you're just going to be in the open on a wall like this. And let's say we got nothing but Germans coming from that way, and you got a shit ton of friendlies to your right, but nothing over to your left. So if they're all coming from there and you see this wall and you think, oh, this is a great spot, I can sit here, this is fine. Not going to be the best because you have that opening over here to your left where you can't really see from. So it's going to be best to try to make sure that's within your lateral limits. So this fence post might be a better option, or this gate, because now we can aim there if they do pop up from there, and we can still see where the main attack force is coming from. And again, with lateral limits, good idea to try to remember what they are. You don't have to write this down or anything crazy like that, but as of right now, that tree is our lateral limit, and pretty much in the middle, maybe a little further to the left of this gate is one of our lateral limits. Now, we have this whole danger area in front of us is covered, and we have this danger area to our left is mostly covered. Why that's important? Pretty simple. If you're sitting like this, not aiming down the sights, and you see a German come in there to your left, and you're set up in a bad spot like over here, you can't get the gun over there in time at all. And a lot of times you might see him and try to do it and try to shoot, and all you're going to be doing is shooting that wall, and now you gave away your position. He knows for a fact that you're there, and instead of you killing him right away, you're going to be ducking down, trying to get your pistol out, trying to kill this guy while he's shooting at you with probably, submachine gun or something. It's probably not going to end well for you. But if you're set up in a proper spot like this, where now you could see that, and you can still see the danger area. All right, so our lateral limit changed to that tree now. Good to keep that in mind. Now you know that if you do see a German coming through that gate, you can turn on him and shoot him immediately and surprise the fuck out of him. Unfortunately, if there's any Germans past that tree on the right, you're going to have to move your gun. But again, we have nothing but friendlies to our right. Hopefully they'll keep it covered. And we still have this entire area in front of us covered, and this gate's pretty well covered. Definitely good to keep that in mind. And try to remember what your lateral limits are. Again, so that tree is ours right now. If I see a German to the right of that tree, I know I can't hit him. This way, I'm not going to be trying to shoot him and giving away my position. All I have to do is say, oh, there's a guy there. Let me set the gun up somewhere else, set it up right here, and now you can take him out. Once he's dead, go back and try to set it up so you have that gate covered again. Simple as that. So for an in-game example here, you'll see I have my left lateral limit is going to be this fence here where I think they might be coming from. My right lateral limit with all these guys is this tree. And then the danger area, the main danger area is down this road in front. And this way I know if a guy comes from the left, I can hit him 100%. And lo and behold, I see a guy out of the corner of my eye, turn to the left, don't have to worry about moving my gun or anything, and he's dead. And now I can go back to watching my danger area. So to conclude it, just keep in mind everything I said here. That's your rates of fire, your lateral limits, all that fun stuff. Don't forget to displace often. Don't just sit in one spot. And just generally enjoy it. If you want to go full auto, go for it. Have fun. If you want to snipe with the thing, go for it and have fun with that too. Just keep in mind if your squad leader needs some suppression somewhere, at least now you know how to effectively suppress the enemies and hopefully get your squad into that point and do what you got to do. So good luck, and I'll see you in hell.